Hey, welcome to NZ Money Karma, where you can find freedom from the daily grind through budgeting, simple living and adventure. I am back from Pack and Save. We've been away for almost 2 weeks and this is my first grocery shop back. We've been back for a day and I got up early this morning to nab some bargains at Pack and Save and it went alright. I've got a bit of change, so that doesn't always happen, but I did take more money than usual. I took $320 with me in total. That was $300 from this week's cash stuffing allocation and then $20 that was left over from before we went away. So I'm going to take that $20 because that's going to go back into cash stuffing. So that's going away. Here's my change for the rest and we'll have a look at that at the end. So to start off with, I had 2 receipts and that's because I forgot to get one thing while I was there, and that was some bread. I just wanted to buy 1 loaf of bread because I'm going to make cheese toasties in advance for the kids. School starts back in a couple of days. We've had a big holiday, so we've had so much treaty food. It's nice just to have something basic, and we're kind of right in the depths of winter at the moment, so having some toasted sandwiches that they can either make in the morning and then put in their lunchbox or just have for afternoon tea will be nice. So that was that. That's $1.69. That's out of the way. Now let's have a quick look and go through my receipt and we'll see how we went. I got 2 toilet papers. We have had house sitters while we've been away. We have a wee dog and we provide everything for the house sitters while we're gone, plus a little bit extra. Oops, that's not going to work. I couldn't find my normal black pen to write on these things, so I grabbed that one, but it's not going to work. Let's see if that will. These are $5.99 and that is on sale, so that's a really good price for that recycled toilet tissue. I got some, what else have we got? Value milk, 2 of these. So that's 6 litres of milk. Sometimes the 2 litres are a better price than the 3 litres, as in I can buy 6 litres for less if I buy 3 2 litres rather than 2 3s. But today it was 2 3s and that came to $13.30 each, so $6.65 per bottle. And I wish I could find that black pen because these here, reduced creams that are really yummy for making kiwi dip, they were only 49 cents. That's a real bargain, right? 49 cents. These are, you know, definitely more like $2 something, and that is on the cheap side for reduced cream. I already have soup mixes, so yeah, I was like, it's a bit of a no-brainer. So I'll just cut up carrot sticks and those, and that makes a really good snack. I definitely want to be able to write it on there somewhere. I bought quite a few of these. We always say to our house sitters, just help yourself, you know, to anything in our cupboards. I think sometimes people think we're a bit generous. So 49 cents. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So $4 worth of these. And that helps make a really good cheap snack, either after school or lunches, or even if you have to bring a plate somewhere, you can have that, some carrots, bag of chips. So let's see, those are 49 cents each, and that came to $3.92 for all of those. So that wouldn't normally even get you 2. So that's great, I reckon. Got some baked beans and spaghetti. I did get the chili beans. Now, last time I got chili beans, people were like, you can just make your own kind of chili beans out of baked beans. So I'm going to do half and half and just see how they go. But I am going to give that a go. I've got 2 spaghettis, 2 baked beans and 1 chili beans. So the baked beans and spaghetti, they're 89 cents each. And these chili beans are more expensive. They're $2.09. was a pretty good grocery shop, I have to say. Like, sometimes I'm so careful when I go around when I don't have too much money with me. And then other times I'm just a bit like, oh, well, I had $320 when I started. I'm like, oh, I've got all this money. Put it all in. I wasn't really adding it up as I go. And then it comes way under budget. So go figure. Okay. Again, tuna. The Sea Lord tuna was on sale. That was $1.59 each. And then this one here is $1.25 each. I don't know if they're going to be the same, but I thought I would mix and match a bit like that, just in case. I don't want to ruin an entire dish, but sometimes we just have like a cheesy tuna pasta, and that is really enjoyed. And I got these because it was less per, well, and these as well, these were less per gram than buying the bigger tin. And they're $1.59. So they're all on sale still. Next I got pasta. I just got 3 of those. We haven't got much pasta in our pantry because our house sitters obviously liked to eat pasta. So they're $1.69 each. Oh my goodness, cheese, wait for it. So after being in Australia and spending, what was it, $9 something for a block of tasty cheese, I'm back to New Zealand and I'm off my high because I bought these kilograms of cheese. I went along with the intention that I was going to buy one tasty and one not tasty, but texture of cheese, kind of block of cheese, and I was going to grate them and mix them in, and then we would feel like we were just having tasty cheese. But the tasty cheese was about $16. And guess how much these ones were? $13.65. $13.65. I don't, honestly, like, it's literally week to week these things go up. Got some chocolate chips. And those were $4.49. That's pretty standard price for these things. That's just baking, back to school baking. And I'm actually quite looking forward to that because I have been on holiday for almost 2 weeks and done no baking and, you know, very basic cooking because it was just a cooktop, no oven. It's actually quite nice to think of what am I going to make, what am I going to bake. See, everything can be fun when it's novel. It's just when you have to do it all the time that it loses its appeal, I guess. What else have I got? I just got one cream. Why did I get cream? I thought I might make a mousse. I don't know if I actually will do that or not, or if we'll just have it, you know, for our pudding and stuff. Some fruit and cream. Pretty yum. Everyone likes that in my house. Better bring over the bun bargains, get them out of the way. Of course, that's why I get up super early, is because I want to get these buns for a bargain. And we can see that were $2 each. That was the only big pack of buns that I could find, but my kids will have, one will have 3 and one will have 1 bun. So this is 4 school days worth of buns. That's 2 and 1, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 school days, and we've got some in the freezer, and we've got some bread for toasted sandwiches. So that's pretty much it. I wonder, did I have one extra? I can't remember. I might have put the other one back. So I don't want to just buy like the little ones where they just have 6 of these. That's not really a good deal at all. I'm better off to do baking if I'm going to do that. Coffee, that's for my husband, and that coffee there is $8.39, and that's on sale. It's 90 grams of coffee, $8.39. Wheat biscuits, slash, we would just call these wheat bix, but I can't find them off the top of my head. Oh, here they are, $5.49. That's pretty standard price as well. Some fish fingers, $8.59. My husband's going away for a week of work, so he'll take separate money and buy some stuff for himself as well. These are junk, obviously. Those were 99 cents, so impulse buy there. And these here were also on sale. So my daughter had asked me to get some crackers. The crackers that she asked for, I couldn't find, but I saw these and they were on sale, and they were organic, and they're probably healthier than what we would have otherwise been buying. So I'm happy to get them. And how much were they? So we got 4 of those, and they were $5.58 for the tamari and $5.58 for the original. So yeah, I feel like I got a lot of stuff. Do you? Are you thinking, oh, that looks like a decent shop? And because we got noodles when we were away in Australia, it reminded everyone that they really like noodles, and they are a very quick, very easy dinner. So I will make these noodles for dinner one night for the kids and I while my husband's away. He doesn't like noodles. And I will make that like a satay, seitan, and noodles. So that's pretty good. Those were $2.99 each, so $5.98 all up. I thought that was a good price as well. I got a couple of yogurts. I think we are completely out, or if we're not out, we have just one more left. I don't make it all the time, but it is nice to be able to make yogurt if we want. And they're $3.99 each. So those were also on sale. I don't mind, you know, there's nothing that I mind buying in theory, but I don't like the feeling that I'm being ripped off. I got some baking paper. We don't have very many things in our kitchen by way of like dishes and things like that. And so sometimes I use a baking tin to make things like let's say like a self-basting quiche. I would just use a normal baking tin, but I would line it with baking paper, and that would make it much easier to get out. I'll wrap the toasted sandwiches in baking paper as well. So that's what we use that for. I guess it's one thing that you could get away with not buying, and often I don't, but to make my life easy today, I do. And that there was $5.85. But that's 30 metres, and that worked out to be about, I don't know what measurement they do it in, but it was like 20 cents per whatever they do it in. Yeah, that was the best price, and also it was unbleached, so it can go in my worm farm. So that was tick tick for me. Now next is, oh, I've got one more processed thing, and the rest I think is fresh. So I got some sour cream. That's for our nachos. That was on sale, $3.79. So if we're gonna try the baked bean thing, I might try and make it a little bit fancier on top. That was my thinking behind getting that. So it's not an actual saving this week really, because I've bought more things, but I don't want to have something that people don't eat either. And I got 30 eggs in total, and that came to $20.97. They're all the same. 30 free range eggs. So I wonder if you have chickens, or if you guys have chickens, because I want to get some chickens. If you guys have chickens, how much do you spend on feed per month, do you think? I mean, I think there's lots of other benefits of chickens, like they're fun to have and you can use their poo. So it's not just about the eggs, it's nice. We like animals in our house, so we like having animals. But I do just wonder, like, would you spend more than $40 on feed per month for chickens? Of course you don't get eggs all year round, but just say we did. That's what I'd be interested to know. I know when we've had chickens in the past, our first egg cost about $1,000. By the time we'd bought the coop, you know, bought everything from scratch that we didn't have, this time when we get chickens, we'll be making our own coop. I've kept my old grandpa feeder, and we actually found one on the side of the road. One of our neighbours knows that we want to get chickens, and she saw a bird feeder that had been put out, so she grabbed that and put it over our fence for us. So we've got feeders. I'll make my own water drip thing. So yeah, it's the coop that we need, and obviously we're paying for fencing to get made, but I'm not counting that as a chicken cost. So that's those things. What else we got? I bought these minute steaks. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of those. $5.76. Oh, you can't even see it. So I've got so much stuff here. Here we go, minute steaks, $5.76 each. So this is a whole, there'll be like a pile of these steaks, all for $5.76, but they are all different weights. So I go through and I look for the one that costs the most. So this is $7.20 prior to the discount, and this is $7.15 prior to the discount. But there were some in there that were only $6.50, for example. So those are smaller bits of meat. So I'm looking for the most meat I can get for the reduced price, if that makes sense. And I got mince. Gosh, I am really stuck for space now, aren't I? It is a better grocery shop than I thought. So this is on sale. This is $16.89. And again, another whole lot will be discounted, all for $16.89. And I'm looking for the one that has the highest weight. And then I've just got the fruit and veggies. Well, there's not a lot of veggies because we've got tons in our garden still. Our house sitters left some potatoes behind and some onions. I thought I had was onto a real winner. I dug up about 5 kgs of potatoes from our garden that had just resprouted. I was like, this is amazing. And they were all good. They were really big ones. Actually, I'm going to show you. Okay, so here's an example of just these potatoes, right? So I dug these up and I was like, this is an amazing potato. We are so lucky, yay us. Well, I was really like, yay me, because I do the gardening. But then I cooked them and they stayed all glassy, and it turns out you can't take potatoes that grow kind of a second time around, if that makes sense. They were all just really gross. It was almost like an uncooked potato. Then I googled it and that's what I found. So I have like 5 kgs of these, what look like decent potatoes, but are in fact not. It's really frustrating. I didn't know that, but I've learnt something, so that's a good thing. These Eve apples for a kg was $4.99 for probably about 7 apples. Got just a handful of bananas. Mostly my husband eats those and he's going away, so I didn't buy too many, and they are $3.59. So I don't mind spending money on an imported product. You know, of course these are bananas, they don't grow locally. We should pay lots of money for the thing. You know, there should be a few things like this that cost us a lot of money, and then the things that we can get from down the road, perhaps less. That's my thinking anyway. And I've just got one more bag left. I've got some mushrooms. There's about 10 mushrooms in there of, you know, around that size. And that cost $5.04. $5.04, that's probably, I would add that to 2 meals. Got a big bag of carrots because I know I'm going to use a lot of them. There's just over 2 kgs there, and that's $5.78 for those carrots. Hang on, now I do have one more bag. So $6.99 for 1.245 kgs of golden kiwi fruits. So there you go, a beautiful product of New Zealand for the bargain price of, I don't know, probably $6 a kg. And in here, it's my last thing, I've got broccoli. I did plant some broccoli seeds, but I don't have any broccoli as yet. Oh, did I tell you? So the kiwi fruit costs $8.70 and the broccoli is $1.99. So all up with the shop, I guess, plus that bread, so that's another $1, I guess, $1.60 I think it was. So this shop here cost $231.74 plus my extra $1, so let's just make it 234. Let's just round it up. So 234 for my family of 4 for the next 2 weeks. That's cool. That's heaps less than I thought I was going to need to spend. I really thought it was going to be about 300 this week. We've been away for a long time. The house sitters have, you know, largely emptied out our pantry. So yeah, starting a little bit, not completely from scratch. We do have some food, but certainly not as full as it was when I left. So I'm really happy with that. I think the family will be happy with the meals that I've planned for the next 2 weeks. My husband is going to go away for 4 nights, so he'll be sorting himself out for a couple of nights. And that will mean that I will be able to put some extra food in the freezer. I hope you guys have heaps of success this week in your grocery shop, and I look forward to catching up with you next time. Bye for now.